Multiple reports in regards to the future of Avengers 5 have surfaced, and how multiple other projects around it will build up that specific film. So let's talk about Spider-Man 4, Daredevil Born Again, Hawkeye Season 1, Echo, and what is being referred to as Devil's Reign. So obviously when it comes to the MCU so far, there's been a small amount of building of the street level heroes. And quite obviously we see that the goal is to eventually team them all up. Now when it comes to what the future holds in store for Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, we heard he's going to have a bigger part in the MCU and possibly leading multiple franchises to point towards crossovers in Avengers 5 and 6. By all accounts, Spider-Man 4 is leading directly into the next Avengers film, but also there's bigger plays at here in regards to what characters they're adding in, who's meeting up with who, to make it seem like a seamless transition of all these characters in the next Avengers film. Enter Daredevil Reign, or Kingpin and Daredevil's Reign, as some people are referencing it. Essentially, Kingpin on a crackdown of masked heroes. Well, they all unite to defeat him, and then their next stop is being recruited by the more popular, bigger Avengers for this giant, world-ending, oncoming threat. Now, how all the heroes across all these street-level things will factor into this, that's the big sticking point. And essentially, pretty much everybody has come down to the, well, Kingpin is on a crackdown of heroes in New York, but that this could spread further and wider, possibly across the US, and, well, heroes are going to be in more trouble. AKA, we're going back to those reports of how we heard they essentially want pieces that are like Civil War 2, for lack of a better term, where there's a split. And again, there's going to be people at odds, so we'll see how that plays out. And Kingpin really being central to this for kind of ripping these teams apart and then being the center that puts them all together. Again, just like what we saw with Civil War, and then how Kang fractures everything, but it brings it all back together because they realize we need to work together. We're kind of going to get essentially the same thing with Wilson Fisk, which I think is fine. Using the whole Devil's Reign type of story arc from the comics makes sense. Like, that's really a direction you can go in and adapt it and have it work, instead of having to forcefully throw cameos into random things. Like, Spider-Man 4 being street level and focusing on elements of this story makes sense over, I don't know, Shang-Chi 2, right? Oh, look, the wreckage of time is over. He's back in New York. Why is Wilson Fisk showing up to hand him a paper that says no superheroes in New York? That seems so forced, right? Like, yeah, I get it. There's a natural story progression for Wilson Fisk and a story that's going to play out that's pretty much exactly what we expect. And it's exactly how they can tie all the TV stuff together.